welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, May 23rd, 2025. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. On Wednesday, members of the Spiritual Baptist faith turned out in large numbers to celebrate the inaugural Spiritual Baptist National Holiday, a historic occasion marking decades of resilience, faith, and cultural identity. During a cocktail reception held at the Prime Minister's residence for Spiritual Baptist leaders and a visiting delegation, historian Dr. Adrian Fraser delivered remarks highlighting the significance of the day. He emphasized that after decades of persecution endured by Vincentians who practice Shakerism, it is now time for the wider society to understand and respect the meaning behind the celebration.
This day commemorates and celebrates the fact that the faith was able to preserve itself and to grow despite the prosecutions and the persecutions for over 52 years. The emphasis is really on the period after 1912, the period when your ancestors, members of the faith, had to go through that particular period after the passage of an ordinance in 1912.
Dr. Fraser, who has extensively researched and authored a book on the history of the Spiritual Baptist movement, noted that many followers have personal and collective stories of what it was like to practice their religion under the brutal conditions of slavery and colonialism.
The first public awareness of the existence of a new religious group was in 1846 among laborers at the Calder estate in South Windward. Our ancestors, people who came from Africa who were enslaved, came without material things, but they came with their culture, their religion, their music, their stories, and the culinary arts. While here, they practiced these in the confines of the Negro Yard, as it was called. But after 1838, when some of them began to move away from the estates and to establish villages, that was the period when people became aware of the existence of this group. But to my mind, they were practicing a lot of these things within those confines.
Spiritual Baptist Week activities are ongoing and will culminate this Sunday with a pilgrimage to Bequia, a spiritual and cultural event that holds a deep significance for the Baptist community. This new public holiday marks an important step in acknowledging the spiritual Baptist faith as a recognized and respected part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines' cultural and religious landscape. Meanwhile, a young man from Lago Heights is encouraging his peers to stand their ground and contribute positively to society. Kim Won-Per, a member of the Spiritual Baptist faith, shared his message during an interview with SVG-TV News at the inaugural Spiritual Baptist holiday celebration on Wednesday. Ben made a heartfelt appeal to young men, urging them to turn away from negative influences and destructive behaviors. Reflecting on his own experiences, he admitted that he once walked a troubled path, but it only led to setbacks in his life.
I got to encourage young men because a lot of us we lost, you understand? Because being on a block, smoking, weed, drinking, liquor, partying, that's a lifestyle that we know, you understand? But the true side of life we do not know, you understand? And that was me. I was partying, I was drinking, you know, a little smoke here and there, but it never benefit me, you understand? It's just pleasures that is not going to full, not going to full the soul, you understand? While you be out there living a careless life, it's not going to help you nothing, even for your family household. This is why it have a lot of broken homes, because when we're busy partying and we're busy multiplying without the understanding, and then we just left a woman with a child and neglect the child, then therefore the child don't have the proper guidance, because sometimes the mother need the support, and the men out there even go the other way. Sometimes the men need need the support and the mother out there, you know. So it is something that I want to encourage the young men them to stand the ground, because we as men are born leaders, you understand, and we are the head of the homes, and we're supposed to be the one that is taking that steering wheel. We're supposed to be controlling the ship, whereby we're supposed to be that shoulder that the woman could lean on and the children them could look up to, you understand? Because we was born to lead, as I said, because God gave man this great authority to go forth, you understand? And we need to understand that and find ourselves and stop making the devil get dominion over us and leading us astray as a people.
Now, Reformed pair credits his transformation to his faith in Christ and encourage other young people to do the same.
Yeah, well, I started having mother used to send me to church now and again, you know, so I used to go Sunday school, but, you know, growing up in a rough neighborhood now, you know, so I get little lead astray, so I wasn't always this person, you know, until I think the 2018, yeah. That's when I changed me and rededicate myself to God, because I never been baptized before, but I used to go to church, you understand, so it's a great feeling to accept Christ too also, because, you know, when you're out there and you're lost, you have no hope, you understand? The only hope you have is Christ, because Christ is He is the way, the truth, and the life, you understand? And if you don't find Christ, then basically you're just living a life that you don't understand, you understand, and you're walking blindly in this life. So it's a great thing for I to, you know, when Christ visit me, I was so happy, because at least I find some sort of hope even in my downtime, you know, and that even build me up now to be a greater and better person and understand why I'm living on this earth here today.
The inaugural Spiritual Baptist Holiday was marked with cultural and religious celebrations across the country, recognizing the contributions of the Spiritual Baptist community to national development. In other local news now, we hear that the Animal Health and Production Division, the AHPD of the Ministry of Agriculture, received a donation of personal protective equipment, PPE, from the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, AICA, to bolster SVG's preparedness and response to the African swine flu, the ASF. A news release says this support forms part of a broader regional initiative led by AICA in collaboration with the United States Department of Agriculture, following intensive training sessions previously held in Kansas and Puerto Rico. After the distribution ceremony, the HPD launched a national simulation exercise to assess its response capabilities. The news release says teams were deployed to various farms across the country to collect approximately 70 blood and swab samples. These samples will be sent to the Plum Island Animal Disease Center, a reference laboratory for ASF testing. Volney Brong, Senior Laboratory Technologist with the Animal Health and Production Division, emphasized that while there are no suspected cases of the African swine flu in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the simulation exercise helps to ensure all protocols are followed, from donning a full PPE to establishing clean and dirty zone sample collection and disinfecting procedures. According to Brong, the disease is not zoonotic, therefore humans cannot contract it. However, it is highly contagious among pigs, and an outbreak can have a devastating impact on a farm. Similar exercises have already been conducted in Barbados, Trinidad, and St. Lucia. The St. Vincent Brewery Limited, SVBL, is reporting a consistent increase in profits over the past few years. According to country head Safia London Williams, the company is projecting even greater revenue growth for 2024 and 2025. London Williams, who took over as country manager in 2022, shared the company's financial progress during a ceremony marking the brewery's 40th anniversary, which was observed yesterday. She highlighted that despite challenges, the dedication of staff and management has been key to boosting profitability. The country manager also revealed that outstanding environmental and tax-related issues have been resolved. She noted that the company has paid off its tax backlog and is actively working on improving its sustainability efforts.
Roof was repaired in the main. Beryl tested it again. However, we still have some bits and pieces to fix, but we can stand in our packaging hall dry. There are no more complaints about odors from our neighbors. We are now their friends. We intend to get this BTS wastewater treatment right. We have launched 2 new products, rebranded our soft drinks, and after 30 plus years, added nutritional labels to our soft drinks. In a couple weeks, we are expecting branded coolers for the market after 8 long years in the wilderness. We've paid all of our outstanding bills, including all taxes and claims by the government.
In his remarks during the anniversary celebrations, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves acknowledged the SVGBL's financial success and urged the company to strike a balance between profit-making and employee welfare.
You know that the union and the workers would take note that some more money is being made. But you also have to put that within the context that you need some capital resources for equipment. So everybody has to have a sense of balance about these things, because a company, you'd like to get 3 cents more out of the profits. But at the same time, you'd also like to ensure sustainability, to have capital monies to put in. And the investors will put in some capital monies, but they would want to have some of their profits to be put into capital expenditure too.
As part of its 40th anniversary celebrations, the SVGBL has unveiled a series of initiatives, including the launch of a new beer on the local market. Family is grappling with grief and disbelief after 42-year-old Granville Harry was shot and killed in his home late last night. The incident has left the quiet community of Vermont in shock as police have launched a full investigation into the killing. We hear more in this report.
According to reports, several Vermont residents in the area heard gunshots during the night coming from the deceased Glenville Harry's residence. However, Glenville's father, Bruce Harry, who lives in the front section in another property, said he did not hear any disturbances. He tells SVGTV News that he learned of the incident when concerned neighbors inquired about the gunfire. Upon rushing home, he discovered blood stains on the doorstep of his son's residence.
I reached here, I saw blood flooding from there, blood was, I need to, but it was closed. I didn't go closer. This boy just run chill and I just back off. I went to company. And he come to me back and he said, we'll make a peep in the house before you call police. Because we're telling police when you call police, we see something.
Harry worked closely with police investigators as they processed his son's murder scene. The distraught father, who celebrated his birthday yesterday, is struggling to comprehend how his son was murdered.
Yesterday, about 4:30 around there. Came here with a lady friend. But I didn't have no conversation. But he asked me that you all right? I said yes. We didn't have a long talk here. So she just going to want to get something straightened out. So if he gotten down, if it ever happened to him, where's the lady? And how she ain't call police? And I live right here. Nobody knocked on me door. Nobody didn't shout me, nobody didn't scream. So what is this?
Glenville's mother, Luenda Pitt, also expressed her heartbreak, saying her son had called her yesterday.
For son, he was so loving. I don't want to say the best, but he's good to me. And yesterday I was by my sister, Tamusi in Dublin, and he called me. And he said, Mommy, how are you? I said, I'm good. He said, you okay? I said, yes, I'm okay. So he said, I'm coming by you tomorrow. Cook and leave food, give me. And you see, no, Denville is not here. I'm so sad.
After 4 hours of police processing the scene, the deceased mother and sisters were allowed to view the body in the vehicle of the funeral home.
When I saw the body, I don't even know what to say. When I saw the wounds in his face, the gunshot in his face, all over his body, the blood, that was it. And then to see a mother cry for their child, yeah, it was a lot to handle. But together we will get through it all as one family. And I hope people stay cautious because you never know when it's going to be your last. I hope that the police will stay on top of it and they at least get the culprit who did this, because this is no way to end a man's life.
Yeah.
During the investigation, officers combed the area for evidence. A red vehicle parked below their residence was thoroughly searched. Attempts by the police to drive it to the Vermont police station were unsuccessful. Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, Trevor Bailey, extended condolences to the grieving family and acknowledged the troubling rise in gun violence, adding that further details would be provided by the Commissioner of Police.
Unfortunately, we have had another murder here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm sure that before the weekend is over, Commissioner of Police Mr. N.V. Williams will have much more to say to the nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Residents still reeling from the news noted that the area where the shooting occurred is poorly lit due to the absence of street lighting, an issue that many say contributes to the vulnerability of the neighborhood. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
And Member of Parliament for West St. George, Curtis King, extended his condolences to the families of the 3 individuals who were fatally shot last Friday night in Belmont. Speaking on radio last evening, MP King shared that he had been out of state and returned to St. Vincent on Friday. He explained that after an early night's rest, he awoke to the devastating news of the killings. He noted that 2 of the victims were residents of his constituency, and he expressed deep sorrow over the incident.
I don't know what you can say when persons are confronted with situations like these. I mean, the most I could offer is my support and, I mean, encourage neighbors and other family members to provide those who are grieving at this time with the necessary support. So I want to extend my sympathies to the family of Mrs. Leslyn Davis, or Leslyn Davis. She was known. I know this lady very well. Sometimes when I make my block up into that part of the constituency, well, she was actually on the side of East St. George. But, I mean, it's just the road that separates, yes, our business place from West St. George. So ever so often I would stop and, as we say, have a conversation. And she was a kind-hearted lady, I always know. We would have our discussions. But every time I'm leaving, she'd say, walk with something, man, walk. I want to do it publicly. I have done it in person already. Extend my sympathies to Johan and his sister and all the other immediate family members of Leslyn Davis, and be strong in these difficult times. Similarly, I want to extend sympathies to Ella Da Silva, yes, and the parents and other siblings and other family members of Noel Brown. He also lives in Belmont. Boy, the most I could, as I keep saying, is to offer my support, offer my sympathies. But, as we always say, difficult though the times might be, let us prefer strength so that we would overcome these difficulties.
Since the incident, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has launched a full investigation into the deadly shooting that claimed the lives of 3 individuals. Leslyn Davis, a businesswoman and the owner of the shop where the attack occurred, Joel Brown, Damian Cumberbatch, all 3 victims were reportedly shot and killed by unidentified gunmen at the scene. In addition to the fatalities, a 7-year-old child believed to be a student sustained a gunshot wound. An adult victim was also injured, was treated, and has since been discharged from the hospital. During a news conference held on Saturday, Deputy Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph stated that while investigations remain in the early stages, robbery has not been ruled out as a possible motive. He also confirmed that forensic analysis is underway to determine the type of firearm or firearms used in the attack. Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey urged the public to come forward with any information that could assist the investigation. He emphasized the critical role of community cooperation in helping authorities connect the dots amid what he described as a worrying trend of violent attacks. ACP Bailey also highlighted that 2 business owners have now been murdered in separate incidents, raising concerns of a possible emerging pattern. The police are continuing their investigations and are calling on residents to remain vigilant and to report any suspicious activity. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has received a significant technological boost in the fight against crime with the donation of a dot pen marking machine from the Organization of American States, the OAS. The official handover took place on Thursday at the police headquarters conference room. The equipment was presented by Brigadier Brown, administrative technician at the OAS, and accepted on behalf of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force by Deputy Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph. A dot pen marking pen is a precision tool that engraves permanent identification marks on metal or hard surfaces. This allows for the secure tagging of firearms, tools, and other assets, enhancing traceability, accountability, and forensic tracking key pillars in modern policing and national security. The SVG-TV says the donation forms part of a broader regional initiative supported by the OAS under the Inter-American Convention against the illicit manufacturing of and trafficking in firearms. It will assist the force in strengthening its capacity to mark, register, and trace firearms, thereby disrupting illegal arms flows and supporting evidence-based investigations. And the traffic branch of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force will observe Road Safety Week 2025 from Sunday, May 25th to Friday, May 30th under the theme Safer Roads, Safer Communities, a Shared Responsibility, which underscores the importance of collective efforts in promoting road safety throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The SVG-PF is inviting the general public to attend and participate in a variety of educational and engaging events scheduled for the week. It says the activities will focus on raising awareness about road safety, fostering community responsibility, and highlighting the role of every citizen in keeping our roads safe. Road Safety Week will kick off on Sunday with a church service from 10 a.m. at the Kingston Baptist Church and conclude on Friday, May 30th with a march and rally. The march will start from Richmond Hill around Kingston and culminate at Heritage Square, where the rally will take place. The police say the march would include children from various schools across Kingston, members of police youth clubs, and representatives from the Girls Guides Association.